Hi, and welcome to the very first video edition of Reading Tea Leaves. My name is John Ross, and this is where I look at one of your stock picks and I run it through my brew of technical, sentiment, and macroeconomic tea leaves, so to speak, so I can tell you what I think of the stock and where I think it's heading. And I also use this opportunity to share something with you that I enjoy, that's part of my morning routine in my workday, and that is what type of tea I'm drinking. So today's tea is my all-time favorite green tea. It's called Fukamushi Sencha. It's a Japanese green tea. The color is really great. I don't know if this lighting in this camera can do it justice, but it's a very vibrant green, more so than most any other green tea that I've tried. And to me, I like to tell people that it smells a lot like grass clippings, and that may not be a selling point for most people, but you combine that with a very buttery, rich taste, and it's just all-around awesome experience if you're a tea drinker. So I would highly recommend this one. It's called Fukamushi. That just means it is it is steamed during the processing, and that's what differentiates Japanese sencha from Chinese sencha green tea. Chinese sencha is pan-steamed, not pan-steamed, but pan-fired to be dried and processed, whereas the Japanese green tea is steamed, and it just gives it this really rich, fresh, flavorful taste. So drink up. But anyway, I'll move on to today's stock. It comes from Alan F. Thank you, Alan, for sending in that request. I want to remind you all, if you have any stock requests that you'd like me to run through the tea leaves, you can shoot us an email if you have our email, or you can just drop us a comment below this video. Leave us a comment. Just drop the ticker symbol in there. If you have any other questions or comments or anything, you can leave those as well. And don't forget to click the subscribe button or that little notification bell to make sure you can come find us and find this channel whenever you want to see the new content that we've uploaded here. So today's stock, let's jump into this chart real quick. So Alan wants to know about Waitr Holdings Incorporated. The ticker symbol is WTRH, and this is a company in the technology sector. It's actually a software application company, and essentially they provide services that deliver food from a restaurant to a consumer at home or wherever they are, and they use independent contractors to deliver that food. Now, you might imagine this is a very unique time for a business like this, where the demand has really grown as people have gone into lockdown, been asked not to go anywhere, but they can still call out for food, for dinner from their favorite local restaurant to get out of having to cook another meal themselves. But anyway, this company, it's kind of a bizarre looking chart here, and that's because there's a couple different things going on for Waitr Holdings. The stock didn't go public until just a couple of years ago, and it kind of meandered, then popped up, but then from there just was on a relentless downtrend during 2019. So looking at Waitr Holdings, I've drawn in an ABC, so that's a three-wave pattern I like to look at just to get my bearings on a stock. And the way I draw those in, I use kind of a standard extension tool to get a sense of where a three-wave pattern might end. I can draw that in here by measuring this A wave and then measuring down to the B wave, and that should give me kind of a target for the C wave. I put an initial target at around that 100% level, and that just means a 100% extension of the A wave. So the C wave essentially will match the A wave if the price extends 100%. So that is why I kind of dropped that C in there as a target. If we were to see the price reach that C wave target above $3 per share, that's about a 180% gain on the stock in a relatively short amount of time, as I would expect. Now, before we get too excited about this, there are a couple more things I like to talk about when I'm running a stock through the tea leaves. And I've drawn these indicators on this chart, or I've included them. The blue line is the 200-day moving average, and you can see that when this stock kind of collapsed at the end of 2019 and just sort of settled in there around 50 cents per share, it was way below its 200-day moving average. Only in March on the spike did we see the price retake that 200-day moving average, but it couldn't even hold it because it fell back below that level, and it's now trading back below its 200-day moving average. So a 200-day moving average is kind of a longer-term trend look at a stock, and where the price is trading relative to the moving average gives you a sense of how strong it is, how strong the trend is, and different things. Right now, we're looking at the 200-day moving average as a resistance level. So as the stock climbs higher and higher, as it approaches that level, it generally will be seen as resistance. Traders will look at this as a resistance point, essentially keeping a lid on the price. Now, if the stock price breaks above that 200-day moving average, that could easily lead to a much larger breakout and to that C-wave target that I identified a moment ago. So want to really watch closely that 200-day moving average. If it can't break above there, it suggests that the stock may remain weak, may continue to meander along around this $1 per share range. But right now I want to watch it for holding its B-wave low and how it tests that 200-day moving average. Now the final thing I want to point out is the red line running across the bottom. That's the relative strength index. It's the 14-day RSI. And this just gives us a sense of the underlying strength of the price or the trend. If we go back to the beginning of this chart, it was trading way low, way oversold levels, and slowly crept higher back to the point where it was kind of hovering around that midpoint at 50 on this index. And, the stock was really doing nothing at that point. But then when we saw that price spike in March, the RSI spiked with it up to overbought levels. The point at which then the stock sold off, RSI came back down and now has settled right around that 50 range. Now, that 50 is essentially offering support right now. And as long as the stock remains, or as long as the RSI remains above 50, it suggests a slightly bullish bias, an upside bias for Waitr Holdings. So right now, this looks like a pretty attractive home run bet. If you, depending on your risk appetite, how you trade, how you invest, how you pick. But this has the opportunity to double your money in a hurry if it can kind of hold its recent lows. Chances are the way that the backdrop has changed and really focused in on companies like Waitr Holdings suggests that this stock could really pop again as traders and investors look for those companies and those stocks that are going to perform well if the lockdown persists longer because the pandemic proves to be more elusive than we expect. So very interesting stock here. I want to thank Alan again for suggesting it. I want to just remind you, if you have any stocks that you want to kind of get another opinion on, another look at, maybe you don't look at charts typically, but you'd be curious to see what a chart or my analysis of a chart says about a stock, then drop that ticker symbol below. Let us know what you're thinking about. Let us know if you like this video. And we're going to continue to produce these just to kind of get a good foundation out there of what we do, what our analysis is like, and just to really bring you some value that you might be able to use in your own trading decisions. And as you think about some of these companies that maybe you're already invested in and you're wondering whether or not this is a time where you should be selling off some of your stocks or holding through some of the volatility, or maybe adding to some positions. So whatever your angle and your approach and your needs are in this market, we'd love to just talk through these stocks with you on this channel. Again, hit that subscribe button so you can come back and find this channel real easily, or I think you can hit that notification bell and you'll receive some type of notice when we upload new content to this channel. And of course, if you want to know what tea I'm drinking, you got to tune in, you got to come back. But I am really excited for next week. I got another request from Doug. And he also, not only did he give me a ticker symbol to run through the tea leaves, but he also gave me a good little story about what he does, what kind of tea he drinks. So excited to talk about that, bring another tea to your attention, and of course, run another stock by you. So thank you so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed this. Look forward to coming back again. We'll talk soon.